Amidst the devastating fires in California, a family's home burns to the ground, and the only thing left standing is a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And a parish church is decimated, but the tabernacle remains intact with the Blessed Sacrament still inside. Hi everyone, I'm Father David Michael Moses. Please subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss out on future videos. Really sad times for everybody out in California. Certainly our prayers go out to them. Let's take a look at some of these stories.
And one California family is going viral, singing in prayer after finding the only thing left standing on their property, a statue of the Virgin Mary.
It makes sense that the statue would still be standing. Jesus is always wanting to honor his mother, and this is a way that he can do that.
Jackie and Peter Halpin, the owners of that Altadena property, join us now. So describe for us what it was like when you went back to your property, everything is gone, and what you find is that beautiful statue.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start, but I need to warn you that it's very emotional for us, so we may break down in tears while we're doing this interview.
We'll probably be there with you.
First of all, let me say my bride and I are lifelong friends from junior high, and we grew up in the little town of South Pasadena.
You gotta love that he immediately turns the attention to his wife and to their relationship, which that's very Christ-like and Marian too, that Jesus and Mary are always turning the attention to one another. So you gotta love that.
There's a picture of our home before it burned down. My wife, she was concerned about going up there because she didn't think she could do it, but it was healing for us to get onto our property. And what happened there, we were so lucky. We had to sneak up there, I'm sorry to say. We had to break the law to get back to our property. But all our children who live in the area were able to join us there, our adult children.
That's a great witness. That's a very Catholic idea that we don't run away from the wound. We don't run away from the loss. We actually go back and we face the suffering. We face the cross like the Israelites. They faced the serpent that had bitten them, raised up, and we face the cross. We carry our crosses, and that's actually the path to healing. So kind of awesome little catechesis he offered there.
But when we got up there, we all just stood around, and it was remarkable that how everything had gotten fried, but the statue of the Virgin Mary and another statue of Saint Joseph were in perfect condition. Obviously, they were a little singed. And we just took that opportunity to pray.
So these images here make it look like the whole entire house just was completely decimated. I thought maybe there were a bunch of other like concrete structures or walls, that kind of thing, and then the statue also survived. But it looks like the entire house just was totally decimated, and the statue was all that was standing. Really remarkable.
Our home is dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and always has been, and all my family members, my extended family. So we said a prayer to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and then we sang that special song that our entire family has known for decades, to the Blessed Virgin. And it was a remarkable thing. Our intention was not for this thing to go viral at all. It was pretty much just a family thing. But the response from the community has been unbelievable and so heartfelt.
Gosh, yeah, I love this. One of the titles for Mary is Our Lady of Sorrows. Why? Because it was prophesied by Simeon that she would have swords that would pierce her heart, pierce her emotionally and spiritually. And what does she do? She stands next to Jesus as he suffers on the cross. She is a woman who is incredible at standing with her children during their times of suffering, so that we're not alone, so that we have a source of comfort through her. That's what Mary does. That's what she's really good at. So it makes sense that Jesus would have his mother there in the midst of the very, very real suffering of these families and these people as they lose their homes, to be reminded of their heavenly home and of their heavenly mother who was with them in their suffering. One of my favorite reflections about Mary is that, God could have defeated Satan in so many different ways, but he chooses to defeat Satan through a teenage girl from Nazareth, through basically a peasant girl with nothing. That's how he chooses to crush the head of the serpent, and that the fires of hell, to go with that imagery, will not prevail against the kingdom of God. And Mary is right there leading the way. One final story of hope to share with you. A parish church out in California sadly succumbed to the fires, but an article says this: the roof had collapsed, a burned steel frame teetered above the twisted remains of a chandelier. The pews had been consumed, only the granite altar remained with the solid brass tabernacle atop it and the cross above. The Blessed Sacrament was intact. So the church burns to the ground, but the tabernacle is still standing. They said the tabernacle was 300 pounds. I love this because the tabernacle isn't just like a symbol of something special. It's supposed to be like a safe. It's supposed to be something that's going to protect anything from the outside from getting in and harming what's inside, which is the body of Jesus Christ. So whether that's a thief or whether that's a fire, it's supposed to actually be protective. So it's really cool that in this case, it absolutely did its job. And the article actually says that firefighters, a lot of times if they go to a religious building, all that remains is the religious articles. Those things are often spared. So our prayers certainly go out to all the families that are dealing with the devastation out in California, but very encouraged by some of these moments of hope that kind of carry us through these difficult times. If you're interested in learning more about the Blessed Virgin Mary, you can check out this video here. And if you want to hear a homily from me about how God is writing the best stories in our lives, you can check out this video. And we'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.